Welcome to the golf edition of Hooked on Sport. This is South Australia's summer golf wrap, where we uncover the stories, personalities and moments that define golf across South Australia and beyond. It's time to talk golf with sports commentator Ben Hook and state golf representative Sophie Hilditch.
Our special guest is one of this state's most exciting professional players. Less than 2 years as a pro, already 2 wins to his name, and he has an enormous remainder of 2025 ahead of him. His name is Jack Buchanan. He's been good enough to join us. Jack, welcome to Hooked on Sport.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Jack, a bit of an unexpected invite. You're off to China in a couple of days.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a last minute one, but worked in well with my schedule, so I'm pretty happy to get that, which would be good.
Just tell us about how these exemptions or these special invites arrive. Do you have to apply for them, or do they simply turn up, just cross your fingers and there they are?
Yeah, there's a little bit of like politics and stuff to it, so I don't think there's really always a formula as to how you get invited, but you sort of can put your name forward, but yeah, it's a little bit of a luck of the draw really, whether you get invited or not.
So this is a Asian Tour event where you currently don't have status, but it's handy to get these sorts of invites to give yourself, I guess, some more options going forward.
Yeah, so I technically do have status, but it's the international series status. So I only get 10 events. So getting this one outside is good to help me lock up my card for next year as a sort of backup.
Yeah, so that's a massive bonus. So what's the next stretch looking like for you, Jack?
So I've obviously got Macao next week, and then I've got International Series Philippines, International Series Hong Kong, and then DP School final stage, and then Saudi International, and then Aussie Open, Aussie PGA. That's my year done.
Let's talk about the fact that what you are then therefore going to have to miss, which is defending a couple of titles, mate. I imagine you would have loved to have been in Kalgoorlie next week, taking the opportunity to try and go back to back. You would have had the similar desire, if you like, at Wollonga in a month or so's time. It's a good problem to have that you've got to miss these events, but a little bit sad regardless that you don't get the opportunity to turn up and play these events a second time.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but when you have better opportunities, it makes it a little bit easier not to defend.
What was the experience like of winning for the first time at professional level? I imagine that must have been a real thrill.
Yeah, it was obviously really good. I felt like as an amateur, I had a good amateur career, but probably didn't win very often. So it was obviously a little bit of a surprise to win that early on as a pro. But yeah, it just gives you a lot of confidence in your ability to actually win.
Your win was off a playoff, wasn't it? So how was that going into a playoff, and it's your first professional win against Jordan Dool, I'm pretty sure, from WA, so you would have been a home favourite.
I literally topped my tee shot off the 18th in regulation play.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, it wasn't my best look. Made bogey there. So I was obviously waiting to see if I got in the playoff, and then I was kind of just happy I even got in it. So going into the playoff, I wasn't as nervous just because I was like pretty stoked I was even in it, because I thought I'd almost given it away. But yeah, I had a couple of the SA boys there watching on, which sort of keeps you going.
Just describe the logistics that go into, as you said, you've earned this special invite to Macau, so you're off to China, and everyone would think, oh, that's pretty cool. You just jump on a plane and off you go. But as a professional player who has to manage yourself, what are the challenges associated with dealing with all of that?
Yeah, yesterday, obviously got the invite, and then it was a bit of a hectic day. I had to organise flights, organise caddy, organise hotel, everything like last minute. So it was a little bit stressful. Make sure you don't need a visa and all that. But yeah, sometimes it's a bit daunting. Obviously, being young, I always feel like I'm going to make mistakes, but I've been all right so far. So we'll see how we go.
The international series, Jack, that's a relatively new thing. You qualified via finishing 4th in the Live Promotion Series. What has that meant to you in your career to be able to get access to events worth a couple of million each, which is, well, it's more than the Australian Open?
Yeah, it's been good, especially with the type of players you get in, because obviously a lot of the Live guys play. So it's been a good experience playing in those sort of bigger events, a bit of a step up from what I'm used to. And yeah, I think in Hong Kong, the winner gets Masters spot and British Open spot. So there's a little bit to play for, and there's some big names playing, so it's pretty cool.
On that tour is Jack Thompson and Wade Ormsby. Of course, Wade won in Jakarta where you were playing last weekend. Is there some camaraderie between you guys, even though you are rivals out there?
There's definitely a bit with me and Tomo, just because we're really good mates. Wade's probably a little bit older than me, so we're still mates, but I probably don't have as much to do with him as I do some of the younger guys out there.
Does Wade, I mean, have you come across him? Has he been able to give you any advice or mentoring? I guess if you said that you're not that close to him, you don't see him that often, but is there guys out there that you lean on a little bit for support and advice?
At the moment, I would say I'm leaning a little bit on Jack Thompson just because I'm so close to him. Showing me the ropes, even just like, I got that invite yesterday. I was able to like ask him what I should be doing, where I need to be staying and stuff like that. It just makes my life a little bit easier, a little bit less scary.
DP World Tour qualifying coming up. I mean, where do you sit with that? Because you'd obviously love to go through the Q school and make your way through, but you must be feeling a little bit sick. I think this is the story, and you'll be able to confirm it for me, Jack. Anthony Quayle made a birdie in the final event of the 2025 Australian PGA Tour Series, and that birdie was the difference between you finishing 5th and 6th. And 6th, now you're not quite sure if you're going to make the top 3 because Cam Smith, Elvis Smiley are a couple of those, Lucas Herbert another one. I think you need 3 guys to not accept the DP World Tour to get your card. So you're sort of on edge a bit, I would imagine.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I've worked out that it comes down to Lucas Herbert. So, and I've had a little bit of contact with him. So it's looking like I might have a good chance of getting it. But if I go to Q school, I can get slightly better status there anyway. So I'm kind of eyeing to try to do that just so I don't have to rely on the backup. But yeah, it was a little bit frustrating at the end of the year, but it goes on.
What is there for the priorities? Because you've got so many balls in the air, mate. You're playing Asian Tour events, you've got international series events, and we understand what they're worth. But I imagine you're pretty keen when you do return home to take a fair old crack at the Australian Tour, which is, of course, the PGA and the Australian Open.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those 2 events this year because I've played them a few times and I know the courses as well. Yeah, I'm trying to go there and win those, to be honest. And it looks like, with Rory and some good players coming, it should be a cool couple of events. I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, Rory is a massive draw card for the Aussie Open, but that's getting played at Royal Melbourne. And you actually played the Asia Pacific Amateur over there, which is huge. Can you just talk me through that experience? Because it's a massive amateur event for the boys.
Yeah, it obviously is a big amateur event. I think, the winner gets the Masters and the British Open. Mm-hmm. So all of us boys, whenever we get to play that, it's pretty exciting. I don't think you ever really get to play the composite course unless it's in an event like that. So I think that's a bit of advantage going in the Aussie Open, having played the actual composite course in a tournament.
You've played some pretty amazing courses around the world, mate, but where does Royal Melbourne rank?
It'd be top 5 for sure. I find that question always harder because, I don't know. I've played so many good ones, I can't decide which is my favourite.
Talking about good courses, your course, Glenelg, has just had an upgrade. Do you still retain a link to your old club?
Yeah. I think I'm a Glenelg ambassador at the moment. So
wow. Yeah. Well, talk up the new renovations, mate, because I think they're open to the members in about 6 weeks.
Yep. So I think there's, what have we got? Three holes are just about to be done, and then the whole course is done. So they've redone all the greens and then shaped up a few new holes, and it's looking really good. And I think they're possibly doing some practice facilities after, so it's definitely looking in good condition.
Anytime a golf course undergoes a major renovation, there's always a difference of opinion. What have you made of it?
I honestly think it's harder for me, but easier for your general member, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of the greens have changed to sort of like fairway runoffs. So like for your average member, you can putt it up now instead of trying to chip out the rough or something like that. So I think for your average member, you're going to enjoy the course a lot more now than you used to.
I think they've added about 45 metres to that championship tee as well. It was already a pretty long course. Do you have a favourite hole yet on the new renovations?
Favourite hole in the new renovations? I would say 13. That was one of the ones they did early. I really like what they did with the green. I think that's a good hole.
I think it's great that they've extended the course by 45 metres, Soph, because for Jack, it means his approach is with a sand wedge instead of a lob wedge now, whereas, 3 woods in all the way for someone like me. Jack, we understand professional golf, it has so many different aspects to it, from driving, approach play, chipping, putting, but there's also off-field issues that you have to deal with as well. Just talk about your team and maybe some people that you've added in recent times.
So I've just started seeing Jonah Oliver, which is Cam Smith's psychologist, just recently. So I've only just started seeing him, but that's been a good insight into some gains that I can get in that area. And then the rest of my team's been pretty solid. I've got Jordan Seller as my S&C coach, and then Adrian Wickstein obviously as my normal coach, and Greg Rosenbauer as my physio.
Adrian Wickstein, a friend of this pod. We've had him talking here before, in particular with an episode that featured Reagan Denton. He's one of many very, very good coaches in South Australia. Just talk a bit about Wicky.
Yeah, I've obviously been seeing Wicky since I was, I would have been about 11, so what's that, 12, 13 years. It's been cool to see him obviously rise the ranks in Golf Australia and then, coach some really good players. So we obviously have a really good relationship, and I think it'll go on for a long time.
Jack, amazing. In a weird sort of way, we hope to see less and less of you, because that means we're going to see more and more of you on television in some big events around the globe. As a young South Australian cutting his teeth in the elite professional world, we're excited to see where you're at and where you're heading to, mate. We really appreciate your time at Hooked on Sport.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Jack.
With the last putt sunk, that's a wrap on this golf edition of Hooked on Sport. Thanks for listening. Help us meet more golfers just like you by following us and leaving a review. We look forward to your company on the next golf edition of Hooked on Sport.